You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network and the John Fredericks Radio app. I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables, and thanks for being with me live in Richmond today, going to Philadelphia Monday. Got to fight. This thing is not over. We can still get to 269. There's going to be a recount in Pennsylvania. We're suing in Atlanta. We're suing everywhere. Lou Barletta running the Pennsylvania operation, one of our key surrogates there. He'll be on with us momentarily. I've got to get some of these callers, and Lou, hang on for just a second. Let's get to Paul in Mechanicsville. Hey, Paul, you're live.
Hey, good morning, John. Good show. Thank you. And I'm glad you're hanging in there to fight, because that's what I am as a fighter. But the Abigail Spanberger thing, I can't tell you how many calls we made to her about lawlessness up here, okay? And that's a big item. But, you know, the lawlessness starts at the top. And I'm a Bannon surrogate, baby. I love listening to him. You know, Christopher Wray should have been out of office, if not in jail. And lawlessness starts at the top. And now we've potentially elected somebody who lawlessness means is unbelievable. When he came back from Ukraine bragging about firing Poroshenko, who was investigating his son, the man ought to be in jail. How can Americans vote for a crook, a certified crook? Read the book from the Biden family and how crooked they are. It's absolutely incredible. That family's taken over $9 billion. You know, so lawlessness starts at the top, at Defund the Blue. What are these people going to do when their wife or their sister or daughter is bent over a table somewhere? Who are they going to call?
It's all coming. Anyway. It's all coming back to them, Paul. Right? All these suburban women that thought, you know, I don't like Trump. Orange man bad. I'm voting for Biden. I don't like his tweets. I don't like what he said on the news conference. I don't like the fact that he's fighting with reporters. I'm going to vote for Biden. And then you know what? When they come through their gates and they have nobody to call. You know what? It is what it is, right? You reap what you sow. So we're going to see. We're going to turn this around. This is not over, Paul. Thank you. Let's get to Don in Rice, Virginia. Don, you're live.
Hello, John.
Hey, Don.
First off, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Your persistent optimism is just, you know, off the charts, and you're the only one that calms the fear. You're the only one I can listen to that, you know, brings me some kind of hope, and I really want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I was a bit upset when you moved Larry Elder from drive time, but hopefully you still have him on Sundays.
Yeah, okay, Elder's still on Sundays, and we moved him from 10 to 1. You know, when you have the opportunity to get Mark Levin, the great one, even though I don't agree with him all the time, I think he's a great addition to our lineup.
Well, he's a great, he's a great scholar, a great constitutional scholar, and he's very knowledgeable. But in my opinion, okay, for what it's worth, he's not the voice you need to attract new voters. He's very arrogant and harsh in his tone. It's like a scratchy record. I can't listen to him. I like him. I like his what he has to say, but I prefer to listen to somebody like Larry Elder. Unfortunately, I go to sleep before 10 o'clock. Okay,
I'll think
but
about
enough
it.
of that.
I'll think about it, though. I will think about it.
Yeah, that's not why I called. And I think Mark Levin be better on late. For his.
I'll think about it.
Anyway, enough of that. But where is Bill Barr and the army of federal troops that should be descending upon places like Philadelphia?
Nowhere.
If Trump has to rely on them, he's screwed. And I know you're not a conspiracy theorist, but I swear it's CIA delivering those ballots in the middle of the night. He's got the whole deep state against him, and it's all rigged against him. You know, you give hope, but I also read where the state legislature in Philadelphia can elect the president.
Yes,
they can. All right. Why are we not doing this? You know,
we got a long way. Don't get ahead of yourself, Don. Right. The first thing we got to do is we're suing in Pennsylvania. I'm going to get Lou Barletta on. He's going to tell us what's going on there. But if they can't resolve it, if we can't determine who won at the ballot box, the first thing it does is the seating of the electors goes to the General Assembly, to the state legislator. That's the first thing. The state legislature in Pennsylvania is Republican, if they can seat the Republican electors or not. And so I'm just telling you, there is a long way to go. I mean, Biden went ahead by 900 votes in Georgia, and my entire team has gone into meltdown. Stop, okay? Stop. This is what they want you to do. Melt down and pack your bags, okay? No, I'm telling you, we are going to pack our bags, but not to go home, to go back on the road, because we're going to fight this until January 20th, and we're going to get inaugurated. Hang in there, Don. All right, joining me now, Lou Barletta. Lou Barletta ran for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. He was Trump chairman in Pennsylvania in that big win in 2016. He's an FOJ, friend of John. Great guy, might run for governor again, and he's part of the Trump campaign's Pennsylvania team down there. Corey Lewandowski, Pam Bondi, Sidney Powell's down. Lou Barletta, we got our best people right now in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Lou, thanks for being with us early today.
Good morning, John.
Lou, what's going on now? Give us an update in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How do we stand? What's happening?
Well, I mean, there's no way this isn't going to go to the court. What's happening here in Pennsylvania, John, is just a disgrace. I think every American should be scared to death of what's happening. I mean, this election literally is being stolen from President Trump. There's no way, John. I've been here for a long time. There is no way Joe Biden is going to do better in Pennsylvania than Hillary Clinton did after Joe Biden made the fracking comments, no more fracking. I've been traveling this entire Commonwealth, and I could tell you across the Commonwealth, this is a farce of what's happening right now. So, right now, President Trump is still up here in Pennsylvania, but they're going to keep going until they steal this election from him. There's still 170,000 votes to be counted. He's up, I believe, over 18,000, just over 18,000. But when you have there's a number of issues that's going on here. First of all, the fact that the Supreme Court let stand a state court order extending the deadline 3 days after the election, and then the governor adds on to that, allowing ballots with no postmarks, and signatures don't match. I got a call yesterday from someone at the polls who said that they received the ballot from a 98-year-old woman. They had to send the ballot to California because they said she was vacationing there. The signature came back, and they said it was so clear that it was not her signature. It was of a young person, and the ballots have to count. If they don't have a postmark, they have to count. I mean, this is unbelievable what's happening here. And if that's not bad enough, then the governor said that Josh Shapiro, who's the Attorney General, that who's on the ballot, who also said that there's no way, 2 days before the election, there's no way Donald Trump's going to win Pennsylvania. He will represent the people here in Pennsylvania in the lawsuit. It just goes on and on. I mean, we could continue to talk about what they're doing here. It's just a farce.
So I know Corey's down there, Sidney Powell's down there, Pam Bondi, all of our top people. So what happens? So we sue them, and what are we suing them over?
Well, first of all, they're suing. One of the facts is they're suing over the fact that they will not allow our poll watchers in Philadelphia to go in and watch the ballots being counted. Why would you do that? Why would you not? Why would you stop? I mean, so then they got a court order. Republicans got a court order that said that they have to let the poll watchers in within 6 feet of where they're counting, and the judge of elections said no. Now, why would the judge of elections say no? I mean, if you're not cheating and you have a court order, why would you deny them access? And then when they did allow them access, they were so far away, John, there was nothing you could see. I mean, they had to use binoculars to be able to try to see something. Now the Democrats are appealing that court order to not allow people to come in. I mean, this is so blatant, it's almost laughable. But here in Pennsylvania, That's what's happening right now. That's one. Number two, a court, only the legislature can make laws. A court should not be able to make a law saying we're going to extend the election for 3 more days in Pennsylvania. And then the Supreme Court, on a 4-4 decision, said we're going to let the Pennsylvania decision stand. And, that's another case where, they've got to fight it. No ballot should be counted. And John, what the order also said is that any ballot received after 8 o'clock Tuesday should be segregated. Now, they are not being segregated in Philadelphia. So how are you going to untangle this? How does this get entangled? No vote should count after 8 o'clock on Tuesday. That's what I think should happen. And that's the case. Donald Trump was up by 400,000 votes. They are stealing this election from him.
So you have the lawsuit, and what do you want? You want to recount? You want to segregate the ballots? The ballots are already counted. Biden's going to end up being ahead by 100,000 when this is set. Look, if you got 170,000 outstanding ballots, he's going to get 150 of those. Trump, so he'll win by 125,000 in Pennsylvania. That's what's coming to the next 3 days. My question to you is, in succinct terms, Lou Barletta, and I hope you run for governor. I think you'd be a phenomenal governor. In succinct terms, okay, it's Monday. They got 125,000 vote lead. All the votes are in. AP calls Biden the winner. What is our recourse?
I think this election will unfortunately be decided in the United States courts. I mean, when you add what's happening here in Pennsylvania, there's no doubt what's happening here, John. I mean, this isn't even like a gray area. There's so many examples of fraud that are happening here. But let's add on to that Michigan and Wisconsin and Nevada. That we cannot allow. I mean, this is not a banana republic. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow, I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican. The integrity of our elections is at stake here. We cannot allow this to happen where they are going to steal an election and change the course of our country and the future of our country. So this has to, unfortunately, this is going to end up in court.
So it's going to end up with the Supreme Court. I mean, in Nevada, I think they just filed criminal charges against people there, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, people who aren't even living in the state of Nevada have voted.
And then people that like somebody voted died in 1827.
I said this before. When they said that they're going to allow mail-in ballots 3 days after Election Day here in Pennsylvania, I said it jokingly, but now it's not a joke. I said, yeah, they did that because. Why would you make the dead people in Philadelphia have to go to the polls when they could stay home and just vote? And unfortunately, that's probably true.
So these ballots are coming in, and we're going to sue, and there's no way to segregate them. I mean, even a recount. How can
how do you untangle this?
How do you untangle it? That's the problem.
There was one tranche, John. There was one tranche of votes in Philadelphia, 23,000 votes, all for Joe Biden.
How is that possible?
How it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, how do you get a batch of mail-in ballots and you get 100% of the votes? I mean, that's impossible. I mean,
the question is, why would you stop? Why, if you're not cheating, why would you stop somebody from watching? This is so obvious what they're doing. There's no way Joe Biden beats Donald. There's no way Joe Biden beats Donald Trump here in Pennsylvania. No way. None. Zero. And what we're watching now is just it's criminal.
Well, we got to fight it. We got to fight it. This is what Bannon's been saying. He said it's going to go in. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. It's going to be decided there. It's going to be, and at the end of the day, it's going to be decided in the House of Representatives. And of course,
John, I'm going to tell you, this president has done just amazing things. We all know what his record are, but here's what I think his greatest accomplishment was. He not only unveiled what the national media has been doing, but he's also going to unveil the corruption in our political process. Mm-hmm. And there are two things I think we should all be fighting for and be thankful that that we had a president like him to do that. I mean, he exposed the national media for what they were, and now he's going to expose the corruption in our political system.
Let me ask you something, Lou. What if I were to ask you right now, and the reason I love you so much is you're always straight up. If I were to ask you right now, do you think Trump's going to be inaugurated on January 20th? What do you think?
Yes.
So do I. Lou, when's the governorship up there?
2022.
You going to run?
Well, John, they got to straighten out this corruption. I mean, if they can do this to a president, just imagine what they can do to me or anyone else.
Right.
They got to clean this up here in Pennsylvania. The people of Pennsylvania deserve to have fair elections and have trust. Even if your person doesn't win, to have trust that this was a fair process and you lost fair and square. But who the hell is going to put their name on a ballot here and go through that and then get cheated right in front of your eyes?
Right.
They got to clean it up.
Love you, Lou. Thank you for coming on today, man. And I can't wait till you run for governor. And but keep fighting. And I sleep better at night knowing that Lou Barletta is there in Pennsylvania fighting for us. Lou, thanks you.
John.
Thank you, man. Lou Barletta, great American, just one of my favorite people. This guy just fights, leaves it all in the field. Super guy. Okay, phone lines open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Drop Fox News. I'm going to tell you that straight out. And I'm not just saying that because Newsmax is one of my sponsors. I've been a Newsmax fan now for a long time. Drop Fox. Send them a message. Drop WRVA. Send them a message. Send all these big companies that have been screwing you over, send them a message. Of course, if you drop WRVA, you can come to WJFN. That's even better. Dr. Joe, you're live from Fairfax.
Okay, John, as a Pennsylvania attorney who started his career outside of Philadelphia, I can tell you why I stopped doing any litigation in Pennsylvania, because of the time that I spent in the Philadelphia courts. 1978, I learned that Philadelphia was corrupt. I worked, my first job, John, I worked in a law firm. One of the partners was a state senator, a Democrat, an honest Democrat. He had no chance to get farther than a state senator in the suburbs. Philadelphia is known for being corrupt. In 2012, they had districts in Philadelphia where they had 100 registered voters and 105-0 for Obama. That city is corrupt. As soon as this occurred, I knew this was going to happen. And I hate to be the downer, but I don't know what recourse the courts can do now. I mean, my wife is from Texas, John. She has a great expression. The crap is out of the horse. You can't put the crap back in the horse. And, I kind of blame them for not being prepared for this. I saw them with the Philadelphia attorneys last night, with the order from the court, and they just looked at them and they said, go away. And that's what happens in Philadelphia. You got to bust down the doors. You got to bang down the doors. I'm sad to say I really think I'd love to be optimistic, but I don't know what is Roberts going to do. You think Roberts is going to overturn these elections?
Who cares? We got a 5-4 majority. I don't really give a rat's tail what John Roberts does. I could care less.
I don't know what the theory is.
The theory is we got 5 justices that are not going to let Democrats and fraud change the trajectory of the country. Okay, that's what we have.
Let me ask you about Georgia. But Georgia, what are we going to?
We're going to sue there. We're going to sue there. We're going to get a recount. We're going to look at every one of these absentee ballots. We're going to be sure they're legitimate, and we're going to be sure they can get certified within whatever the boundaries is of the state law in Georgia. Right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to fight in Georgia. We got lawsuits in Nevada. We're going to win Arizona. Okay? There's all kinds of things. Pennsylvania is not going to get resolved by whatever day. It doesn't matter what AP says. Let me just tell everybody. The Associated Press has no legal authority to determine who's president. Either does CNN, either does the now corrupt Fox News. None of them have the authority. That's only going to be done in the courts. That's why we have a system in a republic. So we're suing everybody. There's going to be recounts out the wazoo. They're going to have to certify these ballots. It's going to end up in the House of Representatives. Trump's going to get inaugurated. They're not going to steal this, Joe, because we're going to keep fighting. That's why.
You got time. You got time limits. And
the time limit is January 20th. The time limit is January 20th is the time limit, right? And if it can't get resolved by January 19th, it's going to the House. That's the way the Constitution's written. Unfortunately, for the Democrats, we are a constitutional republic. Doesn't matter what they say or what the media says, they can all have their own collective meltdown. If this thing is not resolved on January 19th, it will go to the House. She will bang the gavel. She will suck on her dentures or whatever she does. And at the end of the day, 28 states are controlled by Republicans. Trump will get inaugurated. That's what's going to happen. Joe, thank you. I got to roll. Let's get to Ilona from Chesterfield. Ilona, you're live.
Thank you so much. I am so proud of you. You are a strong, true patriot. I love the positive way you think against these vile, lying, vicious harpies. We must fight to the end. President Trump is and will be our president with warriors like you fighting for the truth. And thank you so much. God bless you, and I still love you.
Oh, thank you, Ilona. That was so sweet of you. It's so good to have so many listeners, and here my message today is do not give up hope, okay? They want you to give up. The media wants you to tuck tail. Okay, we're not going to do it. This is not Richard Nixon 1960. This is not the Republican Party of Mitt Romney. We're done with that. We're done with all those people. We're not going to be the good loser, okay? Oh, thank you, pat on the head. Send me a check, and I'll go have dinner in my Washington nightclub. No, those days are gone. No more swamp. We're going to fight. We're taking this to court. Every one of these ballots is going to have to get certified, signed off on. We got an army of lawyers. We got our best people. We got Sidney Powell. We got Corey Lewandowski. We got Dave Bossie. We got our best people across. Lou Barletta, you just heard him. Vernon Jones is coming up. You think we're just going to sit back and let them steal an election and change the entire trajectory of the country? You think we're going to just sit back and then sit back again while the never-Trumpers and gangster banksters take the Republican Party back? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not on my watch. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network and the John Fredericks Radio app, and I am your Oracle of the Deplorables, your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Hey, thanks for being with us. Gibberish nonsense. Got to go somewhere else. We are going to win. No Debbie Downers. That's what they want you to do. The Associated Press does not name the president. CNN and Fox News do not name the president. We have a constitution in a republic. It's the United States of America. All right. It's the United States of America. Not the United States of the Associated Press. I don't give a rat's tail what they do. I'll tell you the other thing. If you're tuning into Fox News, why? Send them a message. Turn them off. Go to Newsmax. This is the time where we fight with everything we have. Nothing is left on the table here. Nothing left on the field. Trump is going to get inaugurated on January 20th. We're not going to let him steal this election. We're not going to let Fox do it. Tune him out. Out. O-U-T. Put on Newsmax. Do it now. Get rid of them. They will see the ratings plummet tonight. You want to send a message to all these corporatists? Like the one I compete with here in Central Virginia, WRVA, Entercom, another corporate giant, furloughing people, send them a message. Tune them out. 1140, tune them out. Tune me in. Send the message. You've had enough. It starts in our own house. Newsmax. It's the way to go. You know, I just saw all this election and the malpractice of the big media. Well, while I turn into Newsmax TV, I get great coverage. I get Dick Morris. I get Rudy Giuliani. I get Michael Reagan. I get Michelle Malkin. I get Alan Dershowitz. I get Diamond and Silk. I get Mike Huckabee. I get me, which is cool. I get more. I get Curtis Ellis. I get Sheriff Clark. And Newsmax has great shows. My good friend Sean Spicer is a fighter. Greg Kelly. President Trump watches Newsmax. He loves it. Now, Newsmax is on all the major systems. DirecTV 349, the Dish 216, Xfinity 1115, Sling, Fubo, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Cox, and more. Check your channel guide. Also watch Newsmax TV for free. You can get it on Roku, Zumo, YouTube, Pluto, Apple TV, even smart TVs like Samsung Plus and LG. Here's your checklist. You got 3 things to do. Number 1, go to Newsmax for the latest news online, Newsmax.com. Number 2, download the Newsmax TV app on your iPhone or Android. It's free to watch it anywhere. Number 3, watch Newsmax TV on cable or on your home TV apps. I'm going to add in number 4, turn off Fox News. Send them a message. Let those overnight ratings plummet, just like we did to the NBA. We wouldn't watch it. We boycotted it. They freaked out, and now Adam Silver says they're going to lose $1 billion. Talk with your feet and your hands. You had enough. Don't let the globalists take us back over again, because that's what they want. No, Rufus, I'm in no mood for you to break anything down. Sorry, no mood. Today is Fight Day. It's Fight Day Friday. Fight Day Friday. Let's get to Mike Allers Sr. in Greene County, Virginia. Mike, great to have you.
Hey, John, how you doing this morning? Thank you for being that voice out there, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you for being so supportive of my kid. I appreciate it.
He's going to win. He's going to win.
Win.
Your son is going to beat the communists in Manassas. I got to tell you something, Mike. We're done with this now, okay? Their little party's over. We're woke. We're done. We had a massive game day turnout in Virginia. Massive, right? We trounced Biden on game day in Virginia. We trounced them. They won on the mail-in ballots, right? We proved we can mobilize. We're not good at it.
Well,
we proved
it's
it.
amazing.
Your son is going to beat.
Yeah,
your son is going to beat the communists in Manassas.
He will. He will. And I'll tell you right now, being part of that movement in Greene County, we were all over the place. People were knocking doors. We were calling friends, and we got people out. But the mail-in ballots, unfortunately, was an uninformed populace. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. But here's the thing that I'm talking about. I have taken on Newsmax. I get message feeds through my phone. I've been doing that for myself, keeping the positivity going. And one thing I want people to understand, having President Trump in there, we hold our heads high again. We have Middle East peace that's burgeoning. Our kids aren't going to war, dying in endless battles that go on forever. I mean, people aren't appreciating that, but we have to. We have to keep this movement going. Get candidates like my kid out there. Get people who are informed. And then finally, John, I just got to say one thing. If we don't get education back, we're not going to win for the future. We have to look into the public schools, and we have to wrest that control from the Democrats. We got to. And that's where the entire brain just taking over America, the indoctrination is coming from our public schools. We need kids to be told that America is still great and still has a great future.
Listen, Mike,
ahead.
it's all coming down now, okay? The COVID, the lockdowns, the no school, the indoctrination, the flee from public schools, the homeschool movement, the Christian school movement, the Catholic, it's all coming down, Mike. It's all coming to a head. Right? This is not the end, Mike. This is the beginning. What Trump has done, whatever happens, what Trump has done is he's ignited a fire. We have a new party. It's the party of working people. It's the party of patriots. It's the party of entrepreneurs. It's the party of minorities that want opportunity. It's the party of growth and prosperity. It's the party of blue-collar workers, of manufacturing. This is what our party is now. They're not going to take it back, Mike. They're not going to go back to Wall Street, globalist, Goldman Sachs.
No way.
They're not doing it. The gangster banksters, they want to take their party over again. They want to make another deal with China. They want to get bigger bonuses. They want the cheap labor. They want to open up the borders. They want to drive down wages. It's over. We're not doing it. We're not going to let them have it, Mike. It's over. And your son is going to win.
And like you said, sir, I'm going to tell you right now, the NBA, when the NBA pulled their nonsense, see you later. The NFL, they took a knee, I took a hike. I mean, that's the way it goes. You just
let's see what happens. Okay, let's play this out, Mike Aller Sr. I love to brought that up. Okay, the NBA wouldn't stop. Black Lives Matter on the court, Black Lives Matter on their shirts, this, that, all the social media stuff, right? LeBron James, they wouldn't stop, right? They wouldn't stop. What happened? Their ratings went down. Their ratings went down 57%. Adam Silver, their commissioner, said, we made a mistake. We have to rethink this. He projected they're going to lose next year $1 billion. $1 billion. Okay? Why? Because we abandoned them. Now let's look at baseball, right? I want you to stay with me, right?
Baseball's next.
Well, let's juxtapose this, right? Mm-hmm. MLB went the first 2 days, Black Lives Matter on the back of the mound, people kneeling, all that. 2 days, right? 2 days. Day 3, it stopped. Black Lives Matter on the mound got replaced with Chevrolet or Ford or whatever sponsors they had, right? The kneeling stopped. All the nonsense with the MLB stopped, okay? These people make a lot of money. They figured it out. There was no social media going on, right? There was no row. It stopped. What happened? They came back. They had a pretty good rating season in a pandemic. They had exciting playoffs. They got back, right? NBA didn't do that. NBA stayed with it, and they're going out of business, right? And we're never coming back. I'm never going to watch another NBA game for the rest of my life, ever. I'm not going to watch Fox again for the rest of my life, ever. This is not like a one-day thing. We're in this for the long haul, buddy. And
you have to completely wash it. You have to completely, when you make the decision to quit something, you just got to walk away and never look back.
Boom.
And that's the way it is. You become a non-customer. And last night, to be honest with you, on my Fox TV, which I was watching admittedly because I do kind of like Tucker, there was a CNN commercial that was like 2 minutes long. It was advertising CNN. I'm like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
I'm like, so wait a second. Are they in bed together all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I'm like, why is there a commercial for CNN on Fox? How could that be a good marketing decision?
Because CNN, buys commercial. I mean, look, if CNN called me and wanted to buy ads, I'd sell them ads. I'm in the business to sell ads. I mean, so I don't blame them for that. I'm in the business to sell advertising. Spanberger advertises, CNN, if their check clears, I'm all in. That's the business I'm in. I don't discriminate.
I'm going to tell you, one thing about the Spanberger movement, I got to tell you, living in Green, working in Orange as a teacher, her signs, and I wanted to write an article about this, but I ran out of time. Her signs go up in July, John, and Nick Freitas' signs kind of sporadically went around the county weekly, but that lady's on every back road, back street, everywhere you can go, it's messaging.
She's tough.
She's got a billboard by my church.
She's tough.
On 15 heading toward Orange, that's beautiful, and it says, she's for all of us.
She's
what
tough.
Kind of messaging? Great messaging. So we got to get back in the game of planting things early.
You got to give credit where it's due. I've said I've said it for 2 years. I said Abigail Spanberger is the best candidate the Democrats have in any Trump district in the United States. She's a great candidate. She also happens to be a really nice lady. I mean, she's got the kids roaming around. She's nice. I mean, she's a nice person. You talk to her, she laughs, she gives you a hug. She's a very pleasant lady. She's tough to beat, question about it.
And she comes to schools. I've invited the other candidate more than once. Never happened.
This guy. Look, I just wanted to say this. Rufus.
Yeah.
Rufus, the Democrat. Okay, he says Nick never had a chance. Nick lost by 5,000 votes. Okay,
that's it.
And come on, man, to say he never had a chance, he lost by 5,000 votes. He ran a great race, right? Didn't have the money, got outspent, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Abigail Spanberger is she's a great candidate. And
sure,
if you hear what she said yesterday on the conference call, she was on a conference call with the Democratic caucus, and they were all complaining about Schumer, whatever, and she said on the call, our messaging was a disaster, and she said if we keep this socialist defund cop stuff up, we are going to effing get our asses kicked in 2022, and we'll all be gone, and it's got to stop. And everybody jumped on her, right? And then she said to Pelosi, she said, you've got to take your caucus back from the radicals. She said that right on the call. Pelosi was like, oh, no, we're doing fine. So Spanberger's tough.
Pelosi and Waters just count their own votes. They don't count the future at all because they don't have much left.
Yeah.
Ladies down to like 5 years of life.
Spanberger is going to have a reckoning in 2022. She's not going to have the mail-in ballot. She's not going to have all the Biden thing. No. She's not going to have that. But
I will tell you, you need the candidates, John. The other thing is, I got to tell you, the Democrats. I live in Green. They got their crap together. I mean, they really had in Green. You've never seen such a presence. So
they're tough.
Our new GCRC is ready to do battle. So we are ready to go. But
gotta fight. Gotta fight.
Give them credit.
This isn't a tuck tail and go home and take your bat and ball. This is a wake-up call. This is the fire. This is the match. This is when we get going now. This is when we start fighting, right?
And we keep it going.
This is not Richard Nixon, 1960. They stole it from me in Chicago, but I'm going to do the right thing. I'm a statesman, and I was vice president. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put the country in a constitutional crisis, and so I'm going to tuck tail and fight another day. No.
Yeah.
We're not. No. We're You know, the other day we're gonna fight 7:55 a.m. today. That's we're not going away. Okay, we're not going away. We're not Bernie Sanders. We're not Bernie Sanders. Nope. We're going to let them steal 2 nominations from us and tuck tail because maybe I'll get a job as Commerce Secretary or whatever it is. We're not that. No. We're not doing that. All right, man.
No, we're not Mitt Romney. So we are the party of Trump, and we're going to go forward. Thank you so much for your time.
You got it, man. Let's see. Somebody said, Randy in Hanover says, Henrico County General Register admits absentee ballots were lost, and he said they lost 13,000 votes. They can't find them. All that will get reconciled in the courts, but it appears to be that Spanberger legitimately won that race. That's all I can say. And she's a great candidate. And I mean, you got to call it out, right? I mean, I think Nick ran a good race. He got outspent. Would John McGuire done better? Probably not, right? So he did the best he could. When you go to the 2nd district and you look at the fact that Bobby Dyer won Virginia Beach and got reelected as mayor. Bobby Dyer's a conservative Republican and got elected mayor in a landslide. Then you go to Scott Taylor. He got beat in Virginia Beach by Elaine Luria by 12,000 votes, which was the margin of victory for Elaine Luria. There's only one thing you can say to that, okay? Elaine Luria's a terrible candidate. She's a horrible speaker. She's downright nasty. She's not energetic. She was never in her district. And if you meet her, it's like icky, okay? She's just not a nice individual, right? She won by 15,000 votes or something like that. You have to say Scott Taylor's career is done in politics. I'm sure he'll be very successful, but Scott Taylor got rejected. Whatever happened, the ballot thing, the signature thing, I backed him. I didn't think it mattered. It did. Scott Taylor got soundly rejected, and he's my friend, and I love him to death. But you can't lie to yourself. His career's over politically. Now, he'll end up, with a big company and stuff like that. He's very hard worker. But Scott worked his tail off. Everything looked like he was going to win. At the end of the day, he couldn't carry Virginia Beach. And he ran significantly behind Bobby Dyer. So people were splitting their ticket. They were voting Trump, Luria, and then Dyer. And so, it is what it is. I love Scott to death, but he lost. Big. So, if you're going to take the second back, you're going to need a different kind of a candidate. Maybe it's Bobby Dyer. Maybe get him to run for Congress. To me, if you carry Virginia Beach, you win. Maybe Dyer's the guy. Have you thought about that? Right? Maybe Bobby Dyer's the guy in 2022. Why don't you think about that? Maybe we draft him. 888-480-JOHN. 888-480-5646. 888-480-5646. Nick in Virginia Beach says, I voted for him, but he was my third choice. But look, I'm not gonna. I don't pounce on people when they're down. Scott's down. Worked hard. Thought he was going to win. Got beat. So we're going to move on from that. Okay. We're going to move on from that. And I just got a text here from. I guess it's Scott in Williamsburg. Scott in Williamsburg, and he says, John, I love you, man. You know that, and you're high if you think the mail-in ballot is going anywhere. It's here to stay. Yeah, it's here to stay. It's always been here to stay. We've had absentee ballots for 50 years. I don't have a problem with absentee ballots. I just want to make sure there's a system to make them accurate and certified. How tough is that? Accurate and certified. That's it. If they're verified and certified, it's fine. Early voting, fine. No problem. Mail absentee ballots, fine. Flooding the zone with ballots like Pennsylvania did, where you could basically go to the mail drop in an apartment building and scoop 50 of them up? I don't think so. All right, let's get the phone lines. Let's get to Sue in St. Louis. Hey, Sue, you're live.
Hey, thank you very much. I listened to you, and I loved your election night coverage. Is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
My question is, one of the sites I go to, Citizen Free Press, 4-story down. It's basically, it's a guy that is on Alex Jones, but he reported this morning that Homeland Security has watermarked all these ballots, so they know which are the good ones and which are the bad ones. And also, he said they're deploying 20,000. National Guard all over the country, and arrests are going to be made soon for election fraud, like what they're doing in Pennsylvania, not allowing Corey Landowski to come in and or paying Bondi to look at the ballot and the ballot counting. Also, there was a. It was on one of my favorite websites is Gateway Pundit. They had a picture of a lady just sitting there for an hour filling out ballots. It's just nuts. So I'm just wondering if you saw that, or later on you'll get some information because you have really good sources.
Well, we're gonna fight. I mean, that's the thing. We're gonna fight, and Trump's going to get inaugurated January 20th, and we don't care what the media says. We don't care what Rufus the Democrat says, or that Democrat, or this Democrat. We don't care what the Associated Press says, or Fox News, or CNN. It doesn't matter. This is going to the courts. The fight is just starting. All these ballots are going to have to get certified, and if they can't, it's going to the House. Right? We're not going to sit idly by. You got people now getting arrested in Nevada for vote fraud. They're getting handcuffed right now as we speak today. That's happening. John Fredericks Radio Network.